So Obsidian Entertainment has announced their next game, what many are calling a spiritual successor to Fallout New Vegas. We do have the Outer Worlds. In this video, what I want to do is go over some of the information we have thus far from the trailer and even some of those peripheral sites that are out there and popping up. Despite the game only being announced a couple of hours ago, there's a considerable amount of information that Obsidian has been sharing about this over the past year or so. Now, of course, we actually know what they were talking about, and it allows us to fill in some of those blanks. Well, first and foremost, what is the Outer Worlds? On Obsidian's website, there's actually a description of the game citing that the Outer Worlds is a new single-player first-person sci-fi RPG from Obsidian Entertainment and Private Division. Something useful to keep in mind is Obsidian was recently purchased by Microsoft, although this game will not be an Xbox exclusive. It's confirmed for Steam, PS4, and Xbox One. Lost in transit while on a colonist ship bound for the furthest edge of the galaxy, you awake decades later only to find yourself in the midst of a deep conspiracy threatening to destroy the Halcyon colony. Yes, I definitely butchered that. As you explore the furthest reaches of space and encounter various factions all vying for power, the character you decide to become will determine how this player-driven story unfolds. In the corporate equation for the colony, you are the unplanned variable. So there's actually a couple of really important takeaways from that. First and foremost, it is single player. It seems like this will be a single player only game, unlike how Bethesda took the Fallout franchise. And even beyond that, if the name of the game and the trailer weren't enough to convince you, it seems like it's going to be a very space-focused game, and there seemingly will be some kind of space travel, but I'll get back into that in a moment. And even beyond that, there's also some other concrete details from the Steam description of this on the Steam store page. They describe it as a player-driven story RPG, and keeping with the Obsidian tradition, how you approach the Outer Worlds is up to you. Your choices affect not only the way the story develops, but your character build, companion stories, and endgame scenarios. So that of course confirming companions, we see several characters all throughout the trailer. A lot of them seem like they'd be great candidates for a companion. It seems like this game will include a karma system. They do say you can be flawed in a good way. New to the Outer Worlds is the idea of flaws. A compelling hero is made by the flaws they carry with them. While playing the Outer Worlds, the game tracks your experience to find what you aren't particularly good at. Keep getting attacked by raptidons. Taking the raptophobia flaw gives you a debuff when confronting the vicious creatures, but rewards you with an additional character perk immediately. This optional approach to the game helps you build the character you want while exploring Halcyon. So perks are going to be a component of this game. That's something I know a lot of Fallout fans are going to be excited for. It was a pretty big component of Fallout New Vegas, and I know without a doubt a lot of people would argue that the system in that game is better than what we saw in Fallout 4 or 76, which had new and unique takes on the same thing. And of course, traits. It seems like flaws are pretty much exactly traits. In Fallout New Vegas, traits were basically something that gave you a pro but also had a con associated with it, so you had to make a decision, a choice to actually pick that thing. I really like this, and honestly, both of these are pretty core components of the Fallout franchise, and it's things that a lot of players love. I know for many of us, we basically just want a Fallout New Vegas 2, and having two of these fundamental features make a return is definitely a good step towards that. Lead your companions. During your journey through the furthest colony, you will meet a host of characters who will want to join your crew. Armed with unique abilities, these companions will all have their own missions, motivations, and ideals. It's up to you to help them achieve their goals or turn them to your ends. So at this point, if it wasn't already obvious enough, it seems like space travel is pretty much 100% confirmed. In the background, you could actually see a lot of footage of spaceships and even some space combat, which looks pretty interesting. Definitely a unique take when comparing it to Fallout New Vegas or even a lot of other Obsidian games. And on their website, there's actually an image of the cockpit of what looks like a spaceship in space itself. And then finally, explore the corporate colony. Halcyon is a colony at the edge of the galaxy owned and operated by a corporate board. They control everything except for the alien monsters left behind when the terraforming of the colony's 2 planets didn't exactly go according to plan. Find your ship, build your crew, and explore the settlements, space stations, and other intriguing locations throughout Halcyon. The settlement part seems particularly cool. In the background, you could definitely see what looks like a lot of individuals, which would be from different factions. I wouldn't be shocked if in this game you find that there's a lot of warring or competing factions, maybe other corporations in the area that you do fight against. Some other peripheral details that we've learned about this game or heard about it in the past is something that's being developed in Unreal Engine 4, and one with AAA production values but a tight scope. And that brings me to my next point, that this game technically isn't confirmed to be open world. Now, it's immensely likely this will be open world based on the success they had with Fallout New Vegas and even just seeing the trailers, but a lot of users right now are taking some concern with that tight scope quote. Even beyond that though, from the trailer, we do know it is coming out in 2019, so hopefully we don't have to wait that long. Looking at their past 7 games following Fallout New Vegas, 6 of those 7 have been released in the first half of that corresponding year. Now, it doesn't mean this one's going to be released in the first half of the year, but obviously Obsidian has favored that section, although Fallout New Vegas was of course released in October. Looking at the trailer itself, it looks like it's going to be a very colorful and Fallout and Borderlands-esque game, having post-apocalyptic themes, but at the same time not being fully committed to that. It seems like there still is a lot of foliage and other things, but you still do see the presence of gas masks and raging factions. One of the towns it looks like that is really a focus of the trailer is Edgewater, so it looks fairly minor. It almost gives me Wild West vibes, although maybe I'm totally out there with that. Perhaps this is just part of the larger Halcyon colony, but either way, another very important factor about this game is dialogue. On the Steam store page, there actually is an image of in-game dialogue, and it looks like pretty much exactly what you'd want it to be. You have different choices as to how you want to handle the situation, one of them seemingly being tied to your perks or skills, whatever they call it in this game. Of course, perks were mentioned earlier, but maybe this is a different thing. And then of course having that attack option. At another point in the trailer, you actually see an instance where you kill 2 other people and it literally says, hey, you didn't have to do that, but it's okay that you did. Player choice is seemingly going to be a very major part of the Outer Worlds, and I know a lot of us, after the past few Fallout games, are really welcoming of that. It seems like they're ingraining from the start the fact that the decisions we make will have a pretty big impact on the world itself, and I'm excited to see what kind of changes we can make. Fallout New Vegas was one of the best examples of that in gaming, and hopefully this will only improve on it. Looking at the trailer itself, it certainly looks like this is going to be a game that has diverse environments, whether that be different planets you can travel to or just even different places on the same planet. I'm pretty curious as to how big planets will be, but you can certainly see in the background what look like different biomes, of course different creatures, maybe some of these pertaining to those specific biomes. And watching this, I can't help but think, did Obsidian beat Bethesda to creating Starfield? I feel like this is everything people are hoping for from Starfield, except it's made by Obsidian, which honestly is almost better to some people. So that's a good chunk of the information we know thus far. I want to keep this video fairly short because, well, I'm uploading it in the middle of the night. I should have another video detailing more news about the Outer Worlds coming tomorrow. We do know from PC Gamer, at the very least, they are getting an exclusive piece and coverage on this game being posted at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe some other news outlets also got some exclusive coverage, but we'll get a lot more of the background information about it. But yeah, I'm very excited for this. It's definitely going to be a main component of this channel because it seems like something that's going to fit in quite nicely. One thing I would love to hear about is mod support. Who knows if we will or will not. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about all this information and the game itself in the comments down below. As always, again, I thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.